Today's deck might be one of the most hateful decks I have seen in a long time. Let's check it out. What is going on, everybody? I hope you guys have had a fantastic weekend so far. We are going to be playing a really interesting deck brought to us by a member of the live chat. So Thea, for those of you who don't know, is a fantastic individual who's been able to jump into the live streams and play games against Country Fried, who is our new streamer as of last week. For those of you who have not checked out the live stream, I want to encourage you to do so. That is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday for 2 hours in the evening. I believe it's 7 Central Time, so I think it's 8 o'clock Eastern Time, which is what I'm in. But if you want to go hang out with him, go play some live matches, feel free. It's a great opportunity to do that. This deck was featured on that by Thea. Thea is, again, someone who hangs out in chat, who does build quite a number of decks, and this is an interesting one. It's basically removal in Planeswalkers, and like that's it. It's kind of ridiculous. We're gonna try and do this on the ranked ladder and just have some fun with it. But the idea is to control the game with a lot of single shoot removal. So we've got Fateful Absence, we've got Vanishing Verse, we've got Hero's Downfall, all of which hits just a variety of things. Obviously Planeswalkers and creatures in these two realms, but Vanishing Verse just hitting any permanent, which is also quite good. As long as it's monocolored, of course. But we've also got a good selection of efficient planeswalkers. So in the 3-drop slot, we do have Kaya. We have the Wandering Emperor, which we can flash out if we need to. We do have 4 Lolth. We also have Professor Onyx, all of which are really going to help us kind of take over the game and hopefully win through the kind of attrition race that we'll get into hopefully there. Now you'll notice we are stacked with some sweepers. We've got 4 Doomskar, 4 Farewell, and 4 Blood on the Snow, all of which are basically putting us into a situation where we are removing and playing Planeswalkers, and that is it. That is the deck. I'm fascinated to see how this one goes. We do have a little bit of tech in the lands, so we've got Hive of the Eye Tyrant and Cave of the Frost Dragon, as well as both of the legendary lands in our colors, so we do have a couple of extra opportunities there to kind of get in for some stuff. But this is fascinating. I think this is just a really hateful pile of cards that we're going to try and hopefully get some style points, Thea, and have some fun today. So we're going to jump in. I do want to say a huge thank you to Thea for creating this deck and sharing this in chat on Monday. That was last Monday. I apologize it took us a whole week to get here, but I had already pre-recorded a good bit, so that's why it took so long. But I do want to say, too, a huge thank you to Country Fried and the community for being such a good sport about all of this live streaming and adding in this new content piece for the channel. This is a really big step for us. So I encourage you, again, please check all of that out. It's great. It's a really fun time. I've been hanging out in there occasionally. It's great. So do hang out with us. But let's go ahead, guys. Let's jump right in. Thea, let's go see if we can win with style. All right, guys, and here we are for game number 1. A bit of a rough start. We don't have a white source here. Now, if we did, if one of these lands was a white source, I would be much more intrigued to keep this. But just we really can't play the Vanishing Verse or the Wandering Emperor, which puts us on turn 5 and turn 6 before we can even do anything. I'm going to go ahead and mulligan here. Now, this is much more manageable. We will definitely keep. The question is, what do we keep? I think we will get rid of the Farewell. Here's my thing. We have got so many sweepers in the deck. I'm not that worried about finding another sweeper. So I think I'm okay with pitching that. I'd rather keep the double Planeswalker play for a couple of reasons, most of which they're more efficient and cheaper to play. So interesting. So we've got some options here. I think we just pass. We get to leave up the Vanishing Verse here, of course. Kind of hoping that they just target the Luminarch Aspirant with the plus, and then we can kind of get going with it. Let's resolve first. Let's see where they throw that counter. Perfect. All right, that was easy. That's exactly what we wanted, is for them to target itself, so we could pull that trick. Let's go ahead and throw this down. And we can foretell, or we can leave up the Seat of the Empire. I think I'd rather foretell. We do take a hit here, of course, in doing this, but I think the important thing is we guarantee the 4th land for the Wandering Emperor, which I think is a little more important. All right, taking a hit, that's fine. Let's go ahead and throw this out there. I'm just gonna Doomskar. Just go ahead and get those 2 off the field there. It's not something that, I mean, I feel like that's an easy enough play to make. We've got plenty of potential removal in hand here as well, so at some point we just get to sweep again and hopefully finish this off. They are really running out of resources here, so that's great. Nice. I think we just foretell this. I feel like that's the safest play. The Wandering Emperor is very good because we'd like to get that down as best we can, but wow, I'm so glad I foretold that Doomskar. We would have been in bad shape if they would have been able to take that here. But I think the Wandering Emperor play, while good, is not necessarily like a winning strategy. We know they're just looking to flood the board here, so let's just make sure we're playing to that out of we get to sweep and they don't have anything they can do about it. We do want to draw some lands. That's pretty important. Let's go ahead and sweep here. A nice little 3-for-1. And at this point, it's just draw land, and honestly, hopefully it's a black land. That would be really important. It is not. It's also a tapped land, which is less than ideal. But I think we can flash out the Wandering Emperor here. Okay. Yeah. Very good. So let's see what they decide to do here. Hopefully they just attack. Yeah. So this is fine because we are just going to get to exile this. Unless they had like a snakeskin veil, otherwise I'd be a little worried, but man, we are getting very unlucky with the draws here. All right, so what do we do? We just don't have a good play, do we? I honestly think the right thing is to just do this. As much as I hate getting rid of the Wandering Emperor, we don't have a better option, and we have to be able to block something here, even if it is just the tokens. So I think that this is probably the safest play. We're just getting unlucky on lands. We need just another black land. And unfortunately, we haven't gotten there yet. All right, so I assume... Wow, they're going to attack with both. Okay. I will happily block here. Just to take a little less damage and at least trade with something before that gets out of hand. All right. I mean, hey, this is the benefit to having, what, 12 sweepers in the deck, is that it's always a live draw. So now we're again just in hoping to draw a black land territory. The question is, what Planeswalker do we drop? I honestly think it's Lolth, just because we can drop the 2/1s. And I think that that's probably just the safest thing. Because again, we do need blockers. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Okay, sick. Well, now we can start to take over a little bit here. So let's go ahead and play the Lolth. Worth noting, this also, now that we have an extra land, we do have Cave of the Frost Dragon available as a finisher. But 100% just going to start throwing tokens out so we can get a little bit further into this. The Hero's Downfall may also become very relevant here. And, I mean, we are working our way to Blood on the Snow, which... All right, they concede. Thea, we did it. Let's see if we can get another couple wins with this. Let's jump into game 2 right now. What's up, guys? Before we jump into the next game, I just want to remind you, if you would like to pick up this month's Patreon rewards, feel free to do so at patreon.com/itresolves. All right, guys, here we are for game number 2. Interesting. Part of me wants to keep this solely because we will, if we draw any land, we've got Hero's Downfall opportunity. Kai is also fairly likely, and then of course Vanishing Verse. I'm gonna try it. I'm not optimistic. Ideally, I'd like to have 2 white sources as well because Doomskar is very much a need. But this does have a fairly... Okay, sick. Fairly removal heavy opportunity, and that opens up a lot for us because now we can Vanishing Verse or Kaya, depending on what we need to do. Looks like Boros. Oh, runes. Interesting. Okay, cool. Let's go snow-covered land, of course, and the opportunity here is to Vanishing Verse, depending on what they play. Curious that they played red and then white and not, or excuse me, white and then white and not red and then white. I guess they didn't need red. I'm not sure. Right now they're just vanishing, or they're just ruining all their lands, which is fine by me. I don't really care. Sick. I wish that came into play untapped right now. I don't know if we just go for the Kaya. I think we do. I'm gonna go for the Kaya here. This leaves them very open to just like doing some crazy draws, but I think we're gonna start opening up a door where we want the Kaya -6 available, and so I kind of want to see what we can do here. I like the idea of exiling their graveyard because this is a runes deck. They can bring all those runes back. That's not something I want on the field. Thankfully we have an answer for it, which is super helpful. So let's submit 0. Let's main phase Vanishing Verse here. And we'll play the tapped land because we really don't need to worry about anything else. That is a bit of a non-bow Kaya with Vanishing Verse, but I mean, I think that's a pretty minimal, wow, I can speak, non-bow, so I'm not too worried about that. All right, sick. So they're probably just gonna attack Kaya, if I had to guess. Yep, that's fine. I think we definitely want to play the land. So we wait on the hero's downfall until their turn. What that does is potentially minimize so if they, as an example, if they go rune on Jukai Naturalist, we just immediately hero's downfall it to remove that from play. And they've then wasted some amount of mana. Obviously it's cheaper because of the Naturalist, but they do waste a little bit of mana in that transaction, so I will happily do that. All right, so this is kind of perfect because I can happily do this, and now they probably just don't have a great play. We also just have Vanishing Verse available. So let's Vanishing Verse that. Excellent. So basically their whole turn was blanked. They did get a Generous Visitor, but we've got options to deal with that, so I'm not really worried. Yeah, I'm gonna Professor Onyx here. We will get them to sacrifice the Visitor. Just because now at this point, again, we're slowly spreading out the threats here, right? Because now they've got to deal with Professor Onyx and Kaya. They probably can't deal with both efficiently. And we've dealt with two of their biggest threats being the Hollowed Hauntings, as well as the Jukai Naturalist. I just don't know if they do have a Rune of Speed. That's a bit of a problem because obviously they can trade off. But it looks like that's not the case because they didn't go for that. So I'm super okay with this transaction. All right. Well, first things first, we definitely want to plus up the Professor Onyx. Wow, that's very good. So let's take Lolth. So what's the risk if we do this? They could give this the trample rune, and then we'd be in, you know, not ideal shape for sure. So with that being said, I think what we're gonna do is foretell this just to get us in an efficient position. We're gonna submit 0 here. This is very good with Lolth, but I'm gonna wait until next turn. All right, let's see what happens. We're playing safe, Thea. We're playing as safe as we can because I do want to, I want to see this work. So far we're doing great, so I'm pretty stoked for this. Nice. So if they target the Kami, we just kill the Kami. Is the play, like 100%. All good. This is totally fine by me. Which they are gonna target the Kami. And now we just kill the Kami. We also get to, with that Magecraft on Professor Onyx, it really slows, or starts to chip away at them. They do get this back, yeah, because we did kill an enchantment there, but that's fine. All right, so again, we plus up first. All right, sick. I mean, we've got really good options here. I just don't think we have to pull that trigger yet, though. That's the fun part. Like, it's probably the correct thing to pull that trigger, but I think we're gonna go for the fun plays. We gotta do style points here for Thea here. So let's do this. Let's do this. We get twice that many tokens, so now we've got 4. And they did not play the trample rune. Rune of Might. They haven't played it yet, so I'm hoping they don't have it. If they do, it's kind of okay, because, again, they're not going to deal 20 to us in a turn, but... oh, they do have it. Okay, well, sick. Well done. But depending on how they attack here, again, we've got options, so I'm not that worried about it. And again, we do just have Farewell, so... Next turn, even if they take a Planeswalker with them, we've got Blood on the Snow, we've got other options. Like, this isn't a game-ending situation by any means. Sure. Very good, but again, we're gonna just blow it all up. If they do attack here, we triple block. I don't think there's any reason not to. Just take it out. And then we can just either Fateful Absence or Wandering... Well, we can't Wandering Emperor yet. We don't have double white. That's something to consider. Whoops. 2, 3. Double white is actually a big problem for us because most of our hand is double white. Oh, duh. They still get through, but that's fine. We at least get rid of the Generous Visitor, so that's fine. Yeah, we really need a land, like a white land. Blood on the Snow kind of works too. Or we just take Lolth. Lolth might just be more efficient. Let's just go Lolth. Let's do this. Again, just trying to play smart. Let's attack in. Let's see if they decide to do anything. It's like, no. Excellent. I am just gonna blow this up. Right now. All right, sick. Cool. I wanted to save some amount of like sweeper opportunity here for this. We did not take the Blood on the Snow though, so we really don't have an availability for any of this. We're just kind of hoping for the best here. We just need a white source, which again, Professor Onyx helps us get to, but we haven't hit it yet. And I've been taking cards, not even thinking about the double white. So that's partially my fault. But we have plenty of opportunity here. So I'm not that worried. Sure. Okay. Again, so much on the black end of things. We are like golden, man. Do we just take another Lolth? Like, we've got every Lolth we could possibly want. I think this token is just going to be a problem for them, so I kind of like this play. Yeah, I'm going to attack. Why not? If they want to double block, great, but I didn't think they would. Yep, let's do this. And let's minus. Again, we're in a situation where I don't really care if Lolth dies, which is probably like... I mean, I guess Professor Onyx is the bigger deal at this point, but I just don't care if Lolth dies because we've got another Lolth. We also, I mean, at some point we'll find another, you know, either a white source or a Blood on the Snow, and we can just sweep up all this, and then it's not a problem. So, I don't know. This deck is sick. It's very mean. This is so hateful, Thea. Your style level is just off the charts here. But we've been able to manage the board presence relatively well. This is definitely the scariest it's been. Wow, they should not have done that. All right, well, hey guys, we found our white source. That was a huge mistake to do that at that point too. I mean, what if we had Vanishing Verse? We just exile something here. That was bad. That was an oops. That was a major oops. Thank you, Platino. I really appreciate it, man. That's awesome. I say, man, I don't know if you're a man. Thank you, friend, whoever you might be. I really appreciate that. Yeah, this is like super sick. Cool. So we should be able to just win now. Like, I don't see a reason we shouldn't win. Worth noting though, in this transaction, they 100% are gonna kill a Planeswalker. I don't see a way they don't. They kind of have to double attack Onyx if they want to kill Onyx though. Yeah, so what we get to do is this. This leaves Onyx on 1. And so the important thing is that we keep Professor Onyx. I don't want to lose Onyx if we don't have to. Plus. So many Lolths. It's amazing. I guess we'll take the exile effect. I mean, we've already got 2 farewells in the hand at this point. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's attack in. Just gonna play this for the land. Oh, wait. Duh. That was an oops. All right. Let's exile all creatures, exile all enchantments. We can exile the artifact as well to get rid of the clue token. Do we want to also take out graveyards? No, I don't think we do. We've got blood on the snow, so the graveyard being available is like kind of important. Despite them being able to pull back a rune with any of the champions they get, like this just sets up a world where we can now -6 Kaya and potentially kind of win on the spot. Not exactly, but definitely get pretty close. Showdown's fine. Also, guys, we're only going to get to 2 games today. We're already running up on time here, but this is so sick. All right, let's do this. Yeah, that's really good. So, do we Vanishing Verse now? Or do we, like... just have so many options. I am in a Vanishing Verse. I'm gonna do this. That allows us to play the other Kaya this same turn. So let's -6. I've never -6 to Kaya. This is awesome. All right, sick. The style points, the style points. All right, sick. I really wish we could have -2 and then -6. We would have doubled on this, but I think we're gonna win. That's my guess. Now, maybe not. Maybe they have a way to deal with this, but I don't think they do. What a crazy deck, man. This is amazing. Thea, you did a phenomenal job here. We'll talk about that in the wrap-up, but this is just a mean, hateful piece of standard silliness, and I love it. The fact that we have so many, like, repeated effects just means you can, like, kind of reliably get to what you want to get to. Aside from mana sources, it's the only thing I would say we could improve on somehow. But, I mean, obviously it's not that big of a problem. We can still win the game, I think, this coming turn. They've got 3 mana available. That's fine. I don't care. Like, at this point, we just let them attack us for as much as they want, and then we just attack with spirit tokens and win the game. So I think at this point, it just doesn't matter. Cool. That's fine. We do also have farewell, so we can exile all enchantments. And then, like, none of this matters. Nice. Showdown's great. Refill that hand, please. Go for it, my friend. They really should not have Field of Ruined. That was such a huge mistake on their end, because that opened up Farewell for us, which I just don't know why they even did that. Like, I'm just not going to block. I don't care. Did it. You killed our Planeswalkers. All right. I'm not going to prolong this. I'm just going to do the thing. That was amazing. Thea, what great style points. Let's talk about this. All right, so first and foremost, again, Thea, thank you so much for sharing this list with us. Country Fried also recommended that we try this list because of how awesome it was. So points to Country Fried for recommending, and also Thea, of course, for building. Undefeated. I know we only got 2 games in, but 2 very, very strong undefeated games. That was amazing. I'll say some of the strengths of the deck. Obviously, the fact that there are so many Planeswalker threats at different mana costs. Meaning, and something that's important to note here, meaning that you can either go for an all-out Planeswalker turn if you find the opportunity and play something like a Lolth or a Professor Onyx in the mid to late game and start to take over if the board state allows for it. Alternatively, though, you can just play like Kaya and leave up Vanishing Verse or Hero's Downfall or something along those lines if you've got the mana for it again in that late game, if you're looking at like turn 6 or something. And so at that point, what you're able to do is double up on saying, okay, I'm gonna place a threat on the field and I can protect that threat with the stuff that I have in my hand, and therefore I'm kind of guaranteed to start plussing up or doing whatever I need to do at that point. So you're able to plan ahead very well with this deck. The fact that you have so many sweepers is really important, especially with the farewells, because you can consistently get to a sweeper. And again, being that some of them are Doomskars and they're teamed with spot removal, you can get through the early turns of the game and then have the big farewell to kind of really finish off the opponent. Farewell being very, very flexible, so it's great to be able to do that. All that to say, though, mana was a slight issue. Not a massive one by any means, but I would take a look at that because, again, I didn't change anything about this deck when it was sent over. And so I would just take a peek at that and see maybe if that needs tweaking, just some extra duels or something in there to help us out. The other thing I would say is it's a very all-in strategy on sweepers, removal heavy, and planeswalkers. Now, obviously, that worked perfectly well. We got an undefeated run out of the 2 games, but I could imagine a scenario where, you know, you don't draw your farewells and now all of a sudden you're basically, you know, you're shooting yourself in the foot because you don't have any way to proactively hit something in the earlier turns. Now, again, there's a lot of ways you can solve that problem already built into the deck, but because it's not attacking on a number of different axes, it's a little bit of a tricky one. All that to say, it does allow for the style point wins, which Thea, I think we were able to manage, especially in that second game. So thank you again to Thea. I really do appreciate it. This is a phenomenal deck, guys. If anybody does have a deck suggestion, I know Sadistic Angel, I'm gonna call you specifically right now. You did send me a deck like 2 weeks ago, and I'm so sorry I haven't gotten to it yet. I do have it on deck, so I'm gonna try and get that to you this week so we can get a video up on that. If anybody else has a deck suggestion, leave it down below. I would love to try out your decks. If you've got one that you've tried out on stream that you want to see recorded, let me know and just send it over to me. I'd be happy to try it out. So thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. I love you all. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you again very soon.